Okay, so recently in the video I did about open responses, I mentioned that Ollama is now supporting the Anthropic API. So this weekend, what I wanted to do was to test out running the new GLM 4.7 Flash model. This is the smaller version of the GLM 4.7. It's basically a similar size to one of the Quen mixture of experts models that we saw come out with the Quen 3 models. So this is a 30 billion parameter model with 3 billion active parameters in here. Now, ZAI, the people who actually make GLM, have really gone in heavy and really sort of pushing their big version of this model for Claude Code. So with the flash size of this model, you can actually run this on your Mac using Ollama. So when I went in to actually start setting this up, I was pleasantly surprised to see that Ollama has actually launched a new feature called Ollama Launch. Now, what actually is this? This is basically a quick and easy way that you can run Claude Code with Ollama, with that Anthropic API support. And it basically allows you then to run Claude Code, to run Codex, to run Droid, or to run Open Code. So the whole thing is really easy to get started. All you need to do is update to the latest version of Ollama, pull down the model that you want. So I've actually already gone and pulled down this GLM 4.7 Flash. And then with one command, you can actually just launch Ollama Launch Claude. Or if you just type Ollama Launch, it will give you the different options of what apps you can actually launch. Now, the first thing you want to do is once you've actually pulled the model down, like I said, in this case, I want to use the GLM 4.7 Flash, you're going to have to change the context length. So by default, Ollama defaults to a context length of 4096. So to change this, we want to come into the app settings and set the context length to be 64K for the model. Otherwise, you're going to find very quickly when you use Claude Code or one of the other tools that it just churns. It doesn't really remember anything in its context window. It doesn't have enough time to sort of use tools properly or save things to the file store, etc. Now, once you've got that set up, all you need to do is come in and go to the terminal and do Ollama Launch Claude. And you'll see that sure enough, this is Launch Claude. We can see that we're actually set up with this model here. If we want to see the models, we can come in here. We can see that we've got the GLM 4.7 Flash model in there. So we can actually try this out. And you can see we could basically use Claude just like normal, where I can basically go into plan mode. I can kick it off and get it started. Now, the big difference that you're going to notice between this and the Anthropic Claude Code, or meaning basically using the Opus model or the Sonnet model, is that it's definitely a lot slower to get going here. So both for the pre-fill and the decoding with the model, you're going to find, because you're running the model locally, it's certainly going to take time to actually get results out of this. Okay, so after playing with this for about 90 minutes or so, the thing I would say is that while it does work to a certain degree, you're really going to need either a very powerful machine to run this model efficiently with a 64K token window. And even then, you're going to find that it's really slow. So I've been running it on a Mac Mini Pro with 32 gig of memory. And while it can do a lot of the things in here that Claude Code supports, like it has been calling, MCP tools, it's picked up my MCP tools. That said, there are certainly some times where it will get the wrong arguments for the tool, which Opus 4.5 just wouldn't do. And my guess is that's to do with both the quantization version of the model that I'm using, but also the context window size in here. So while this can work, I would say, if you're happily using Claude Code already and you can afford a decent plan for Claude Code, I personally don't see this as being a viable option for me. Now, that said, I still think there's a lot of opportunity for using this kind of model with the Anthropic API to make small agents that actually run efficiently. And hopefully with models like the Gemma 4s, the Quen 4s and stuff like that, that are just around the corner, hopefully it's not going to be that long before we've got actually good enough coding models that we can run locally with this kind of setup. So while Ollama Launch is really good and everything in here is really good, it's perhaps just not ready yet for prime time unless you've got a really powerful Mac or a really powerful machine with a GPU that can run one of these large models, ideally not quantized at a very high speed, to be able to process the amount of tokens that something like Claude Code is actually using. Anyway, the links are in the description. Give it a try out yourself. If people find some other ways of actually running this that are much better, please let me know in the comments. I would love this to work a lot better than it currently is. I do like the idea of having a sort of backup to Claude Code, which can be run a lot cheaper. At the moment, that's going to be one of these plans from ZAI for the GLM 4.7 big model, or perhaps the Moonshot AI and one of their plans that lets you do the same kind of thing. So if you are interested to try it out and you've got a very powerful machine, it is extremely simple to actually set this up and get it working with Claude, with Codex, with Open Code. Let me know in the comments if you've tried it out, how it actually worked out for you. And as always, I will talk to you in the next video. Bye for now.